Mass funeral held for victims of Kerman bombing. A mass funeral has been held in the Iranian city of Kerman for the 84 people killed in twin blasts earlier this week. The attack occurred during a memorial ceremony for General Qasem Soleimani, assassinated 4 years ago. RT's Youssef Jalali reports from the gathering. Mass funeral held for victims of Kerman bombing. A mass funeral has been held in the Iranian city of Kerman for the 84 people killed in twin blasts earlier this week. The attack occurred during a memorial ceremony for General Qasem Soleimani, assassinated 4 years ago. A mass funeral was conducted to honor and lay to rest the victims of the Kerman bombing. The solemn ceremony brought together grieving families, friends, and the community as they paid their respects to those who lost their lives in this tragic event. The atmosphere was heavy with sorrow as the community joined together to find solace and support one another during this difficult time. The incident has left a profound impact on the city, and the collective mourning at the mass funeral served as a poignant reminder of the need for unity and resilience in the face of such devastating events. A report by ENN from Kerman.
Victims of the Kerman terror attack was said to be held in the city's cemetery, where the incident took place on Wednesday. But shortly after the ISIS terror group claimed responsibility for the explosions, authorities changed the plan, moving the ceremony to a safer venue here at Kerman's mausoleum. President Ibrahim Raisi, who had cancelled his Thursday trip to Turkey in the wake of the terrorist attack, arrived at the scene, promising crushing revenge on, quote, the masterminds of the attack.
Be certain that our authoritative forces have the upper hand. Our forces will decide the time and place for the retaliation.
Around 100 people lost their lives in a pair of blasts that ripped through the city of Kerman near the grave of Qasem Soleimani, where crowds had flocked to commemorate the 4th anniversary of the U.S. assassination of the former IRGC commander. In a statement released on Thursday, ISIS revealed that 2 of its members blew themselves up amid the pilgrims, thus rebutting initial speculations about remotely controlled explosives. The families of the victims now demand that the government find the perpetrators and bring them to justice.
I ask the government to find the criminals and relieve the pain of those who lost their loved ones. What wrong has our child done? He was only 4 years old. He was killed just before his birthday. It's so hard to endure this. We had bought a cake to celebrate his birthday.
We ask the authorities to take revenge on ISIL, which is supported by Israel and the US. They created that group. The authorities must respond firmly and enact justice on the perpetrators and those who aided them.
The attack on Wednesday was ISIS' second significant operation in Iran in more than 6 years. Back in June 2017, Daesh assailants stormed Iran's parliament and Imam Khomeini's mausoleum simultaneously, killing 17 people and wounding 43 others. Tehran then retaliated by targeting ISIS strongholds in Syria, using its domestically built medium-range missiles. IRGC Commander General Hossein Salami said this time too, the terrorists will not be safe.
You better know that you cannot escape God's wrath by hiding. Even if you live for 1,000 years, we will find you.
In regards to the twin blasts in Kerman, Iran initially pointed the finger at Israel, arguing that Tel Aviv is actively seeking to deal a blow to the so-called resistance axis in the region, amid the front's support for Hamas in the ongoing Gaza war. Still, many believe that Israel pulled the strings in the Kerman bombing to cover up its so-called back-to-back defeats in the war against Hamas.
Who is ISIL? It's the brainchild of the US. Hillary Clinton admitted this fact in her election campaigns. Who is ISIL? It's Israel. It's the US. They are the ones who support them.
Both ISIS and Israel have old scars from Qasem Soleimani and Iran. When it comes to ISIS, General Soleimani was known as the nemesis of the terrorist group, wiping out ISIS in Iraq and Syria and forcing the remnants of the group to shelter in Afghanistan. As for Israel, Soleimani was mainly known as the architect of the resistance axis, whose primary goal is to confront Israeli and Western influence